Yes. So she's gonna go. She's gonna be gone
this week, huh?
Either tomorrow or early next week. I think I'm like growing out of it a little bit, right? I'm really riding, and you can just see on the tread wear now. I'm really riding it at its limits. It's just a great bike for a beginner.
Yeah.
It's such. Yeah, it's a 1200, but you know the common misconception people think is like, okay, large displacement motor equals a lot of power. You know that's not the case, right? You know you have 950s out there, big cruiser V twins that make what, 60 horse?
Yeah.
50, right? Which is ample power on the road, but you know, so
I think this is definitely a torque. This is like a low end. I don't even see it really as like a we're trying to lean it to the edge. I see it more as like a well refined, like just cafe cruiser, you know, like we're gonna go get lunch, we're gonna go do something,
right?
Like and by all means you could definitely lean the hell out of it, and it has all the right components and right suspension to do so,
right?
But I definitely feel like it's like this thing is very much like it looks cool down the road, you look cool on it, and you're just going to your A to B.
Yeah,
very nice, smooth, sounds beautiful too. I mean, you can't.
Oh yeah, after I put it sounded great stock, but after I put the cones on it,
yeah,
the shorty cones, yeah. Suspension. The Thruxton R comes stock with would show a big piston front forks and O-leans in the rears with progressive springs. This, to me, is the key point for a beginner, the suspension. So what do you mean, Sergio? What do you mean you nitwit? You know nothing about bikes. And I really don't know much, but I know my bikes. But as you start getting more confident as a rider, you go faster, right? You use more travel of the suspension. So what does that mean? Well, you gotta make sure that the bike is ready for you, that the bike is ahead of you, so that the bike is ready for your ability. Having a higher end suspension, or at least something where you can adjust all aspects of the suspension, compression, rebound, preload, you're great, because then like that you can tune the suspension to your ability over time. So that means, hey, I make the investment in the suspension in the beginning, saves you costly mods on a bike later on. You know, you'll probably get into, you know, a cheaper 250 or 500. Really, the suspension really won't have all that kind of adjustability. So if you really like the bike, you want to keep it, but you're just riding the balls off of the thing, hey, guess what? You got to get a new spring, or you got to get new front forks. So again, probably the number one reason why I think the Thruxton, to me, is a great beginner bike. A great beginner bike.
How comfortable were you if you took this for a long ride? I don't know, what's the longest ride you...
I did about an hour and a half on this bike. If you soften up the suspension a little more,
yeah,
right? You turn out the compression and rebound. You could probably do a very long trip. The only thing is that there is no fairing. There's nothing to tuck behind.
Yeah.
There's nothing to tuck behind. And the way I have the ergonomics set up now, it's with the handlebars, it's a little more wristy than it was stock. Stock, yeah, oh my God, you can go all the way to wherever you want. Because remember those big risers we put?
Yeah.
We had those risers, and then we put them down to the lower ones.
Yep.
And then I just slammed it again completely. I went to just complete clip-ons.
Yeah.
Those are the Renthals, so they're just completely slammed down.
It gives it a good look, though.
Oh, absolutely.
It gives it a great look. That seat is really comfortable.
Wilder Customs is a company out in California that makes custom seats for just about anything and any model you need or want. But they do have sort of like a template or a stock template for Thruxtons. This seat is actually harder than the stock seat. Yeah, it's harder than the stock seat, but it supports your butt in the right spot. It's more supportive. It's almost like a firm mattress versus a soft mattress, right? The stock seat was uncomfortable after a while. Yeah. It really was, because it just wasn't supportive enough when you were like, going for a long ride. This one literally props you up, and when you want to do a little body position on this thing, that those flat edges really let you kind of take a cheek off, right? And as you're trying to initiate that turn.
I think I need you to explain to me though, like when you're looking at when you're trying to pick a whiskey to pair up with your bike, right? Like what are the things that you look for in a bike that you can correlate to a whiskey?
You know, it's a good question. I'm a newbie rider for the most part. So I'm going to say intermediate, right? How long have I been riding? Like 3 years now?
Yeah, about 3
years. But I've put a good amount of miles on all of my bikes.
More than most people I know, yeah.
So I kind of soak in what the bike is kind of showing me and telling me. And you turn it on, it's like, you turn it on, you let the clutch out. It's not like the Panigale where it's like, no, I don't want to go. Yeah. Where you have to like literally, give it some beans to actually get it out of dead start because of the hydraulic clutch. Right. This is like, all right, let's go, and it's so easy to ride, right? It's got that meaty exhaust note, really bassy sound. So as you get on it, it's like, and it's like you got that feeling, right? And so I'll tag that to kind of whiskeys that I've had throughout the years where did I find a whiskey that has that sort of kind of like that just nice, deep, rich kind of note? Decided on Oban 14. Oban 14, it's Diageo product, so it's one of Diageo's classic lines of whiskey. Very deep, rich whiskey to kind of match its the engine note. Really, it's pleasant. It's a very pleasant whiskey, like a very approachable whiskey. It's not going to kill you. This bike is just a smooth, refined experience. It really is. And, it's got ABS, traction control. So I got a little techno goodies to, help keep a newer rider safe.
Can whiskey be smooth?
Oh, absolutely. Well, it is. The sensation of smooth is it beating you up? Or is it physically hurting you?
Yeah.
And if it's not, we'll immediately associate it to smooth. Remember, because your taste is all about association and memory. I mean, I know you're still kind of learning.
I'm a newbie to whiskey. You tell me what I'm looking for, and then I'll try to pick them out.
So this is weird, but your taste buds will always give you something different every sip, every time, and every day. You come back to this whiskey tomorrow, it's going to taste a lot different. There's certain notes that you can always pick out. Like right now, I'm getting quince. I don't know if you've ever had quince before. My mom makes quince jam. We used to have a quince tree growing up, and these quinces, they are the most tartiest fruit. It give you cotton mouth.
Yep.
So, but they smell so sweet. Such a sweet smell. So what we do is we boil them and make a jam out of them, a preserve. We call it marmelada in Portuguese. But yeah, so that's what I get on the nose immediately. And honey.
That's funny. I was just gonna say honey. I can say honey.
This is very. It'll also carry into the taste as well. So I'm gonna just give it all. Oh, damn, that's good. Surprised it's my first sip, but...
This is your first sip?
First sip of the day.
Oh. I was like, this bottle looks pretty...
I've done some damage to that thing.
Yeah.
My dad has done it, too.
I'll say this. I have a little bit of, like, my throat... I'm still overcoming a little bit of sickness. And drinking this, I thought it was going to be harsher going down. Not...
There you go.
Not
very,
as harsh as I
very
thought.
Pleasant. So the honey always stays with me. And
a few moments later.
Damn, you took that down quick.
Well,
you're not supposed to rip a shot of it, bro.
I took half and then half. That was two.
God damn.
I mean, if I'm gonna get on this bike, I'm gonna throttle. All right, I'm gonna give it some throttle. I'm gonna do the same thing with this whiskey. Now, what makes you decide whether it's on the rocks, off, or
So off neat.
Yeah.
You ask for it neat, with just like this.
Neat, just like this.
Mm-hmm. Well, it depends.
Is that up to you? Is that up to the person drinking it?
Absolutely.
I could. Typically, I like to throw a little ice on it.
Yeah.
On most, but
there is no wrong way to drink a whiskey.
Okay.
If you want to drink it on the rocks, go for it. right? Go for it. What I am going to tell you is that your taste buds aren't going to pick up. Think 70%. I think that's the science behind it. 70% of what is actually going on in the whiskey, because you lower the temperature of it, right? Why do you think you drink cold Corona? Ice cold Corona.
How to taste?
There you go. There you go. There you go. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. I appreciate it. Again, this is a one-man, well, two-man operation, right? Rob over here.
I'm gonna join in as I can.
He'll join in as he can.
But
it's usually just gonna be me. So when I post things, I'll post them. So if you want, add a like. If you don't like it, sorry to hear that. What can I say?
Just like it.
Just like it.
Just
And
like
subscribe.
it.
And subscribe if you want. I mean, I'll post when I can, but some things to look out for. It's going to be the Ducati review. So the Ducati Panigale V4 2018. The Ducati Multistrada. We're going to do a little old school review. And then when the new one comes in, the good old S1000 R coming in.
I'm jealous, I'm gonna tell you.
So we'll, and then we'll probably do the other thing to look out for is the Superbike shootout. We'll do a little Superbike shootout, road and track. So we'll do road and track. Road obviously first. We'll get our impressions, and then on the track, then we'll get it to the track, and then we'll switch off every session.
Yeah.
We'll give our reviews and our opinions on the track and see which one will stack up. So thanks everyone.
Yep. Have a good one.
Have a good one.